Title: Venezuela, from collapse to a fight for rebirth. Venezuela, a nation once swimming in oil wealth, now fighting every single day just to survive. The world has seen its fall, but what most people don't know is how that fall was engineered, and whether a comeback is still possible. This is the hidden war that destroyed Venezuela, and the struggle that could save it. Chapter 1. Riches that turned into ruins. In the 20th century, Venezuela was the envy of Latin America. Beneath its soil lay the world's largest proven oil reserves, a treasure chest that promised an endless future of prosperity. This was the era of Saudi Venezuela, a nation so rich it seemed immune to the struggles of its neighbors. For decades, black gold fueled a national dream. Money poured into the treasury, funding ambitious infrastructure projects that transformed the skyline of Caracas. Gleaming highways, state-of-the-art metro systems, and cultural centers became symbols of a modern, thriving society. The government launched extensive social programs, offering subsidized food, healthcare, and education. For many, life felt secure, prosperous, and unstoppable. The nation's wealth seemed as boundless as the oil fields themselves. But this glittering prosperity was built on a fragile foundation. In the intoxicating rush of the oil boom, a fatal mistake was made. The economy became dangerously addicted to a single commodity. Year after year, other industries like agriculture and manufacturing were neglected, unable to compete with the colossal revenues from petroleum. Eventually, more than 90% of Venezuela's export earnings came from oil alone. The entire nation's fate was tied to a single, volatile price. Then, in 2014, the world changed. A global supply glut, driven by the rise of U.S. shale oil and shifting OPEC policies, sent prices into a freefall. The barrel price, once comfortably over $100, collapsed. For a country that had bet everything on high prices, the crash was a death blow. When the price of oil fell, Venezuela crashed with it. The economic heart of the nation stopped beating. The government, suddenly starved of its primary income, began printing money to cover its debts, triggering one of the worst cases of hyperinflation in modern history. The currency became virtually worthless, a stack of bills needed to buy a loaf of bread. Soon the stores were empty. Shelves that once overflowed with goods gathered dust. Hospitals, unable to import basic medicine and equipment, became places of despair. The intricate systems that support a modern society simply broke down. The dream was over. The riches had turned to ruins. And a nation that once proudly exported its wealth began to export its most valuable resource, its people. Chapter 2. A government under siege. As the economic crisis deepened, the suffering of ordinary Venezuelans spilled onto the streets. What began as localized demonstrations against shortages and insecurity soon coalesced into a nationwide movement. The social fabric, already frayed, was tearing apart, and the political landscape was about to turn significantly darker. President Nicolás Maduro, who had succeeded Hugo Chavez in 2013, found his government under immense pressure. The protests, peaking in massive waves in 2014 and again in 2017, demanded fundamental change. Millions took to the streets, calling for new elections, respect for human rights, and a solution to the humanitarian emergency. But instead of dialogue or reform, the government's response was a strategy of control. A systematic crackdown began. Key opposition leaders were arrested and jailed, effectively decapitating the political resistance. Independent media outlets faced immense pressure. Many were shut down, their licenses revoked, leaving a void in public information. Democratic institutions were also undermined. In 2017, the government created a controversial Constituent Assembly, a parallel legislature with sweeping powers that effectively sidelined the opposition-controlled National Assembly. Democracy was being pushed into the shadows. As the domestic situation deteriorated, international pressure mounted. The United States, along with the European Union and other nations, responded with sanctions. Initially, these were targeted, freezing the assets of high-ranking officials accused of corruption and human rights abuses. However, beginning around 2017, the sanctions escalated dramatically, tightening the noose on Venezuela's entire economy. These broader measures specifically targeted the state-owned oil company, PDVSA. They blocked Venezuela from accessing U.S. financial markets and prohibited transactions with its most vital industry. The goal was to starve the Maduro government of revenue. But in doing so, oil, the nation's economic lifeline, became a powerful weapon used against it, accelerating the collapse of production and deepening the very crisis it was meant to solve. Chapter 3: The Global Chessboard. Behind closed doors, powerful nations moved in. Power goal: United States regime, change, plus oil control. Russia, military influence, plus energy deals. China, loan repayment, plus dominance. Cuba, political alliance. Europe, stability, plus migration control. Venezuela was no longer just a country. It was a battlefield of global interests. Foreign powers fought for influence. Venezuelans fought to stay alive. Chapter 4: Survival in the Dark. More than 7 million citizens fled, one of the largest migrations in modern history. Those who stayed behind found new ways to survive. Dollars replacing the local currency. Crypto mining in bedrooms. Underground food markets. Communities sharing what little was left. Even in destruction, creativity was born. Chapter 5: Can Venezuela rise again? After years of turmoil, the question of Venezuela's future hangs heavy. The path to recovery is fraught with challenges, yet amidst the uncertainty, faint but persistent signs of change are beginning to emerge, sparking a cautious optimism that was once unthinkable. The resilience of the Venezuelan people has been tested to its limits, but now, new possibilities are on the horizon. A significant shift came in late 2023 with the Barbados Agreement. This diplomatic breakthrough saw the United States temporarily ease some of its most stringent sanctions on Venezuela's vital oil and gas sector. In return, the Maduro government committed to conditions for a more competitive presidential election. This fragile détente has reopened crucial channels for negotiation, allowing international energy giants like Chevron to resume limited operations, pumping much-needed capital back into the economy. Foreign companies, long deterred by political instability, are cautiously testing the waters again, exploring investments not just in oil, but in other sectors as well. Perhaps the most powerful engine for change comes from within. A new generation of Venezuelans who have grown up knowing only crisis is refusing to be defined by it. They are not just demanding democracy, they are building it from the ground up. Young entrepreneurs are launching startups, creating jobs, and finding innovative solutions to everyday problems. If Venezuela can harness this energy, rebuild international trust, and finally begin the difficult work of diversifying its economy beyond oil, its recovery could be more rapid than many experts predict. But the path forward is a tightrope walk. The danger of backsliding remains immense. Deep-seated corruption, which has siphoned away the nation's wealth for decades, is a formidable obstacle. Political division runs deep, threatening to shatter any fragile consensus. And the competing interests of global powers, the United States, China, and Russia, continue to play out on Venezuelan soil, adding another layer of complexity. Any misstep, any broken promise could unravel the delicate progress made, and the tragic history of collapse could all too easily repeat itself. The future of Venezuela rests on a knife's edge. Closing message. Venezuela's story is not finished. It has fallen hard, but refuses to surrender. A nation once defined by oil might soon be defined by resilience. Hope is returning, slowly, quietly, but it is returning. The world is watching. The question is, Will Venezuela rise again?